Morning, everybody. It's Ace of Trades. It's Wednesday, June 3rd. The Bible says in the book of John, chapter 17, starting verse 1, these words spake Jesus and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee, as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give life eternal to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. So the Bible is very clear over and over again that there is only one true God and only one way to that God through Jesus Christ, who is also God himself in the flesh. So if you don't believe the Bible, you might as well just go live your life however you want because there's really nothing else out there. Um, but if you want to have eternal life, then you need to get to know Jesus Christ. But on the chart today, I put the overnight high here, overnight low here on ES. We can see that we're kind of trying to push up through this level now. So we just got to keep an eye on that and see what happens. There's nothing really clean structure-wise that I observe here. NQ, a little bit divergence there on NQ today. It's more up. I had this move up, kind of like a second leg, and that's pushing out. Try to push down, pushing up again into this level. So we'll see what happens there. NQ's a little stronger. See if anything happens once we run into this measured move level also. So we'll just keep an eye on that for now. Okay, so seems like what we're dealing with here is kind of bigger picture price action on the chart we're trying to trade. So you got this 40-point move down. So the chances are that you're going to get like a couple legs here that move like 6, 8 points so you can get your little entry. Not likely, and which makes it difficult when you get these huge moves because it's very challenging to know where's the point to get in for a little profit that I want to take on a little swing because it's moving so big. So, so uh, this looks like, you can see something like this and it looks like, oh, this is reversing, but this could just be a normal correction for a move that size. I mean, this whole thing down might still retest, but it's just challenging to know if it's going to do that or not. And it's kind of doing the same thing on the NQ as well. So we can just flip over there real quick, but you can see it's just hard to figure out, you know, is this going to be like a little trap for this to then keep pushing down, or is this like two swings here? So I might be concerned that this move down is going to try to push down again and retest. I mean, there's a tiny little break here and a new low, but I wouldn't when you get a move this big, I'd look for bigger structure corrections that before before you consider that prices have totally like retested the low for this. So anyway, just kind of watching that. Hopefully the structures kind of settle down and we get more smaller picture stuff that we can trade, but we'll just have to keep watching. All right, let's do an update here. So we had the steep move down on ES, and then we, pushed up here. Uh, it's the price action was like so big. I'm not really sure if this is going to, make some sort of retest on a bigger picture. Really don't even get anything here that even looks good. It's just chop, push up, chop again, push up, down. Are we reversing at this point? Nope, not yet. Push up again. Um, Chop. This whole area is just very choppy. I don't see any indication that we're going to be turning down. This would be the first indication. I don't like this as a technical second entry. This all just looks like one leg to me, and this just looks like I'm just not quite sure about, you know, um, your entry it doesn't look like two legs to me. So maybe you get a second leg here. And then maybe you get, this then to retest. This finally looks like with this pushing down strongly here that this is clearing these levels where there was bounces before. So who knows? Maybe this run just runs down off one leg and makes a new low for that move. But you just got to keep watching that. And then NQ, um, kind of the not really any setups here. Push up, new high. Um, that's not really a good bar. And then this runs up and just goes choppy sideways. You could probably throw a, a range on here. You can see how this is finding support in this area. Not sure why that's doing that again. But so you get this leg down. And then you'd be looking for something like that. I'd be hesitant to take something here because of all this support. You don't know if you're getting bounced out of a range here. Sometimes that happens when it looks like you're going to get a retest and then, prices hold this range. So, but it looks like it did indeed defeat that and you have a new low now. So, just got to watch for new structures then. All right, not much going on here right now. I mean, it's just you have no idea. Obviously, you can see once we got to this point, there's sort of like a downward slant to what's going on, but you have no idea where these swings are going to stop and where you're going to get faked out or whatever. So there's just nothing clean here to trade. Now NQ is printing a little cleaner, and if we move this over here, there may even be a larger trend down. You can see, let's see, like this. You can see that. Now, you can't just short this little tiny red bar here when you have, two big legs down. In fact, if I drew this out further, right, you would see how that's even. Let's get rid of that. You still have two big legs down, but it does react. So now that it reacts, now you can, look to try to find something off this channel, I think. So the NQ is a little bit cleaner than ES is printing, but it's still difficult to find areas where you can be confident on the swings because it's not creating those clean second entries for you. But anyway, that's the update for now, and be back again later. Okay, so ES is finally retested this low from this move down prior to 10 o'clock. So, and the other thing that's making this difficult is, you keep getting these legs down, little trends keep playing out, and so you have to be aware that after trends play out, that prices try to reverse. So you can't just, you don't want to just keep taking trades in the same direction where things have played out. But the problem is you're not getting any confirmation that things want to reverse. They just keep pushing down again. But I would just be careful here. Keep an eye on this level because prices may hold this. With this being a retest of this level, prices may start trying to hold this and start trying to push higher. So, yeah, it's kind of difficult with it not being very clear on what's going on with prices not reversing, and that may be because the entire time prices are trying to retest this original move down, so they're not, even though little trends are playing out and then you get these moves up, they're not really inclined to reverse on a whole, I think, because of wanting to retest this low. So we'll see what happens now that we've retested this low on ES. And then, NQ. So I had this downtrend, right? Well, this overshot, and now it's pushing higher. There's not really any clear, you have this move down, but it doesn't look as much because we've pushed so far up here against, this move down back up into the range. It doesn't really look to me like a retest of this like price is trying to retest down here. So we'll just see what happens now that we're back at the overnight low level. It doesn't seem like it's a very strong area of support, obviously, but I'm not going to be looking for shorts with this overshoot here. But prices are still not showing that they're very strong to reverse. So you just kind of have to sit tight and wait for something to work itself out, hopefully. All right, so we ended up this area here that might have been support. We ended up chopping and then pushing out of it, pulled back to the EMA. Unfortunately, this is just very choppy and stacked, and I don't feel confident taking this lower high here. So, there's no way, in my opinion, to get into that. And now this trend is now pushing down for a new low. You just I would be careful taking any longs right now until this market shows you that it wants to go higher. Um, just because it's so bearish. I drew this. You can't really get a good line on the other side of this, but you can clearly see how this is fitting for resistance. Um, and this just looks very weak today. So it's almost like you just need to wait and see if you can get prices to reset and look for shorts, because just look for longs is very, very dangerous when you just have so much pressure downward. Um, you just In order to take a long, you really need to wait for prices to just obviously reverse and start going higher, and that will, when you see stuff like this, it'll look very obvious. It'll be very strong, and you know might not do that all day today. It might just be this slow, choppy grind down. But um, yeah, so that's what we have on ES right now. It's just not very good price action. There's probably a lot of people getting chopped up today. NQ. Now I had this trend line on here in such a way that it created an overshoot, but the fact that it can't reverse off I think this printed an overshoot here and just keeps going down. When you're dealing with these bigger structures that are channels, sometimes on a smaller time frame, you'll get these little pokes out on these. It won't fit exactly perfectly, but you can see it's still kind of fitting in this channel all the way down. So I think this is probably a valid thing to trade. We just gotta keep watching, and if you get some sort of couple clean legs up here, maybe a lower high off this level or something, that might be something that you think about taking a trade there. But this channel does look like it's pretty valid, other than we couldn't push up through the EMA here, but that happens sometimes when you're very bearish. You won't make it to the other side. The EMA will hold it down. So just watching this now on NQ. All right, so we have I found this larger structure. I felt comfortable with it after I saw it on here on the 6K chart. So when you get bigger structures um, that you think you find, it's sometimes good to uh, look at the larger time frame, because when you're dealing with larger picture price action, that's kind of where you're going to see the swings and stuff better. So uh, found that, but got a gap here. I'll take care of that. It's just difficult when you're dealing with the larger picture stuff to figure out where the true swings are going to be. So this little uptrend here broke and made a new high, but then it made another try to go higher before it started pushing down. And now maybe this structure here is going to try for a new low, but do I really want to short into this support here? Not really. And then NQ, there's this here. This kind of looks a little bit more obvious to me. But again, pushes up and you get this new high. Looking for, you get these and you have this potential larger context moving down, you'd be looking for a lower high. It doesn't give it to you. And so you can kind of see what's going on, but it's not producing uh, swings in a way where it's obvious where you should get in on it. So again, you can see this much better on the 2K. It fits pretty good. Um, you probably would have had it like that at first, but when this overshoot here doesn't do anything, then it's probably extend it like that. And it looks like here's your break, and here's your first attempt off this move up. Second attempt looks like second attempt is failing here and trying to push down for a new low for the bigger structure. So, um, yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But there's nothing I really felt had confidence in taking. Of course, you don't want. Here's a first attempt. You don't really want to take that for a long because this looks very strong, like this is going to push for a new low right here. So, obvious that it makes points in hindsight, but it's not a place where you want to take a long, in my opinion. So anyway, we'll just continue to watch the price action, and hopefully we can get something. Okay, so here we're looking at NQ. Kind of have it zoomed out a little bit, and it looks to me like I had these two measured legs drawn, but this has gone well beyond the measured legs, and NQ is looking to me more like this is turning around to reverse, and so I'd probably be looking for a long trade if it sets up. I mean, it's very choppy, kind of. I mean, you're getting a lot of bars that are overlapping here as it's trying to push up. So depending on how it presents, I'd be looking for a long in this instance. ES, let's see, let me refresh this. See what ES does here. Now ES, you basically have two legs up here. And you can see that one leg, two legs, but I don't think I'd be looking. I mean, you're getting the EMA is getting very close now. And this is looking to me, I mean, when you get into very big picture price action, this is hard for me to say, oh, I think this is a second leg and this is going to just fall down here. Um, this is kind of looking to me too like ES wants to go up. So I wouldn't be looking at this as like two legs I want to short up here. Be looking to see if maybe we can get a long trade also if it sets up. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
All right, so we got two legs back here. This bar just is not good enough for me. I just don't care for it. So I'm not going to take that. Um, maybe if we get something that pushes down here and then closes back in this area, I'd take it, but I don't really care for that.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a tricky uh, correction here because I said I don't really care for that. Skip that. Comes down here, basically, it's really hard to tell. You see the push up there, but it's really hard to tell if this is one or two legs here because it's so kind of steep without much separation. Like you could easily draw, a little trend channel here. It does get this higher low afterwards. I just don't like how that looks. Um, odds are you're going to get something out of that, but with the ATRs between like 2 and 3, and this turns out to be like a 4 point bar, I don't really care for that either. So you got 1, 2, probably 2.5 points safely that you would say to the high. But again, I'm not sure yet if this is a, one leg or we're going to get something else here. It's very just kind of not clean is the best way I guess I can describe it. So, but you do get this push up to a new high. Um, NQ's kind of doing the same thing, push up to a new high. And now perhaps if you get a decent setup and it wants to, correct back down here, you're getting a decent ways away from the EMA, but you do need this has kind of flipped around now. The bearish bias is kind of
kind of flipped around. You can see push down, pushing down, and now we're pushing back up, especially NQ. You're halfway back up into the overnight range again. So the idea here might be wants to go higher now. We've spent a lot of time trying to push lower and really couldn't get past these levels down here at 3,500. So if price tries to do that for a while and can't, sometimes just goes the other way and spurts. Um, but you got a lot of room to the EMA here so if it gives you a nice clean setup. But um, and then ES, kind of the same thing here. We have got about 4 points, but we'd need a nice lower high there to uh, you know have a little confidence in capturing something. Okay, so it looks like we get this uptrend break new high, a little chopping around. Looks like we finally maybe we're pushing back down here, so we'll see if maybe we can get a short off this move down. Maybe prices are, attempting to on a bigger picture. Maybe they're attempting to push down here for new low. We'll see. But the bias is definitely, at least in the short term, reversed. And so we'll look and see if we can get something here to the downside. Uh, NQ, kind of the same thing, except this is now made a new high. Now this made two measured legs down here. So we'll see what this wants to do. There's potential here for a shallower channel, but we'll see what this wants to do. Um, yeah, so that's all I got right now. Uh, this looks like, NQ is one of those. NQ is a little bit more apt to, even if you're going in the wrong direction, it's a little bit more apt to give you a bounce at a clear swing. Um, that's just a little dangerous there because, you're clearly played out to the upside. So you just want to be careful. Obviously, higher low is always better. Um, so that's a little bit dangerous there, even though you see that it works. There's a kind of a gap to the EMA, but that's not really normally a trade I'd like to take. Okay, guys, we are about a minute to the close here, and uh, just didn't get anything again today. Very choppy as prices tried to move around, um, and up and down today. So you can see how staticky it is on this time frame. So it's very difficult to tell where you want to get in and where's the actual swing points. I mean, you can see here. That looks like that might be a good short there. You can see how far it pushes up, and then so you want to get in there. It's very difficult to tell. The only place I really kind of thought about something was here when we had this uptrend break. Uh, clearly didn't like that little setup there that fails. It's kind of all looks like one leg to me. But then you get this higher low. I mean, the thing, I just don't like how it big the bar is relative to the ATR at that time, and just like how it finishes. I mean, it is a higher low in the sense that the low is higher, but I also like these to close higher as well, green. So I guess, that didn't really sit well with me either. Just didn't like it. So when you just don't like stuff, just, skip it. It doesn't matter if you haven't gotten anything all day or for 2 days or whatever the case may be. You're looking to take the setups that fit your criteria and that you have confidence in. So it's not to say that you won't take that it's just a probabilistic trade. So it's not to say that that won't fail on you sometimes. Um, but as you develop your skill and learn to read the chart, you want to take stuff that you're confident in. Just understanding that anything can happen in a trade, but that if you're applying your skill correctly, that over the course of time, if you have a solid edge that you've identified and you're correctly identifying that edge,
that will play out in your favor over time, even though individual trades may fail here and there. So, yeah, that's it for today. I did actually get the broker statement. I'll pull that up for you here. All right, so there's the broker statement. Not all the entries are on here. Of course, there's more pages, but you can see some of them. And there is my P&L for the month, which should match the uh, P&L that from my platform that I showed earlier, less the market data fee there. So I'll be back again tomorrow then, and see you then. Hope you had a good day.